So I'm in the Mustang now, and I'm taking it on a nice twisty road, and I love the sound of this V8. It's not as loud as the Camaro that I just drove, but has a really nice throaty sound, and it really comes to life after 3,500 RPM. Handling, it's tight, and I can feel that the suspension on this car is a little bit softer and more for the daily driver per se, but it handles quite nicely and it goes around curves pretty effortlessly. The Mustang started its story in 1964, 1965, and it's gone through a lot of different styling changes, and some more popular than others. I remember when this body style was introduced a few years ago, it was popular among some individuals, but not as popular among others. And I know now with the 2018, they've changed the styling once again, and overall, I'm really impressed with this new body style. It's very sleek, and I think that it's a really modern, good-looking car that a lot of people wouldn't argue with that it's not a pretty car. So I think that they've done an excellent job with their styling. The car has a few different modes. Right now, I'm driving the car in Sport Plus mode. Then there's normal mode, like I said, Sport Plus. Track mode, which actually turns the traction control off. I'm not going to be driving the car in that mode today. And then snow and wet mode, which tames the car and softens everything up, and you would use it in the snow. I wouldn't want to drive this car in the snow. It would probably be fun, but this is more of your weekend car and something you would drive in the summer. In addition, you can also change the steering modes. So there's the steering feel normal, and then there's sport, and then comfort. So in comfort, the steering is very relaxed. In normal, it's tightened up a little bit, and then in sport, it's the tightest that it will be. And you actually feel the change in the steering almost immediately. I enjoy the gauges on this car, and these are all customizable by Ford, so you can order it specially. But I think it looks really nice with this nice white. And then the steering wheel is a little wide. I wish it was a little bit more narrow, but it's a nice wheel. Putting it through an exit ramp right now, and the car grips quite nicely. I'm not pushing the car by any means, but it's nice and tight. Everything feels good, and I'm about to get on the highway now. Let's see. Give it a little bit of gas. I mean, the power comes on, and it's very quick. It goes through the gears quite nicely. This gearbox is a short throw, but I noticed that the pedal on this car, to give it full throttle, you really have to push it, and it goes really far back, so that's something to think about. But the power comes on very nicely. So I'm driving the car through downtown Mystic now, and I have the car in normal mode. I have the steering in comfort mode, and the clutch is not heavy at all. It's very easy to shift through the gears in this traffic, and I think Ford did a nice job with this shifter and clutch. I know I've heard some people like it, some people don't, but I don't really have any complaints with it. I think it's very easy to use, very easy to drive in traffic. One thing that I have noticed though is because that this car is opted with the optional performance pack. It comes standard with it comes with Brembo brakes, and you just have to be careful because the brakes are pretty touchy. So when you're in and out of traffic and you hit the brakes, it's kind of a jolt because they bite so quickly and so well. But you get used to that as you drive the car longer. The seats in this interior are very comfortable. It's got this two-tone leather. I don't really know how I feel about the two-tone, but for some people they might enjoy it. What I found interesting is if you come across, you see this nice brushed aluminum, and I think that that's a really good detail and touch that they put. And then you have your oil pressure gauge, and then your vacuum up here, and then you see the Mustang badge since 1964. And I also in the Camaro, I wish that this was finished off in leather, but for the price of this car and for what the performance and power and everything that you get for it, I think it's a great buy, and I think it's a car that you really could enjoy day to day in the summer and have a great vehicle to drive. And I was really impressed with it, and it's it's a little bit cumbersome and it doesn't handle as well as the Camaro that I just drove, but I think that this would be a great driver and anybody could really enjoy this car. Another point that I wanted to add, especially Mustangs now in the media are known as the crowd killer, and I don't think that that is an accurate statement. After driving this, you know, it has a lot of power, it's a V8, it's a 5-liter, but I think if you respect the car and you just drive the car normally and you push it and you go and you know your boundaries and the limits of the car, it's a great vehicle and it won't really come out and bite you. So who did I pick as the winner of this head-to-head? Well, I'm going to have to go with the Camaro. It looked better, handled better, sounded better, and also it was a lot more fun to drive, as you could see by the smile on my face. But I don't take anything away from the Mustang. It's still a great car to drive.